think the big change over the course of the last 15 years is that even racist organisations like the British National Party or the EDL wouldn't openly have a go at black people anymore. They try and camouflage their racism by having a go at Muslims and saying, we're not against black British people, it's Muslims who are against. So if there's been a sea change in that sense, in that the most open form of racism that used to happen here, black players being monkey-chanted that, and that open form of racism towards black people, I think is certainly on the decline, thankfully.
Ain't you asked for a mention 1,000 miles away?
I work for the South Tyneside Education Authority, and I've got a brief for community cohesion and anti-racism within the work that we do. And I've always known Share Racism in the Red Car from when I was a teacher as well in Newcastle for the work they do with the schools. And I was delighted that Share Racism in the Red Car has become a partner to the council, and that gives me the chance to be able to engage the schools.
And do you think that sort of what we do is it's effective?
Yeah, I'm convinced of it. I mean, I was actually the very first time with Shaka Hislop, so I mean I know right from there. But when you see the whole day events particularly, and the difference it makes from the time when you first start to the end, especially the panel where the children get the chance to talk to the professionals, and then go away with the posters. They get the messages. That's for sure. They get the messages at all ages, I would say as well.
I've had a lot of the children coming up to me already today, and we haven't been here that long, and they're all kind of like, they've all had their eyes opened a little bit to how I kind of guess they hadn't really thought about any of these issues before. They'd never really thought about what racism was. I know we're just doing over there kind of defining what race is, and I don't think they've ever come across that before, so I think it's something very new for them, and they are learning definitely.
I think most of the views which come across kind of reflect the families, the neighbourhoods, and we do know that Gateshead generally is a nice place, but these issues do exist, and to be able to provide that opportunity to sort of unpick some of the issues, I think that's a starting point really.
I think it's a great opportunity coming here today because they get to learn about their current perceptions of what racism is and perception of who black people are and where they come from and how wrong they may be. And through the use of the workshops, they're able to appreciate that they can come from different parts of the world, and actually black people are on our own doorstep in our own towns and cities. Where they come in Prudhoe, especially our school in particular, and the Prudhoe High School as well, there aren't so many black people from different parts of the world, so it'd be a bit of an eye-opener here today, so it's a great opportunity, and hopefully they can spread the word when we go back to school.
Whilst they'll have views on racism, or they'll have experiences, I think it's also in terms of how switched on some of these kids are, because you talk to them and you ask them questions, and the kind of questions they're asking, but also the kind of the way in which the kind of things they're saying, what they come out with. And I think it's not just about and whilst we appreciate that sometimes racism could be down to sort of ignorance or not having a proper understanding, but it's also, I think, a number of kids now are switched on. So I think, in a way, what the organisation does is add value to what schools are doing in terms of, because that kind of work's also going on in schools, and so kids are getting a different perspective rather than a very one which may be negative around in terms of their environment or their neighbourhoods. Because schools are actually addressing this. Share Racism in the Red Car really adds value to what kids are doing in school?
I think it's really highlighted the issue and brought it home to them, and the fact that they're at a place that many of them love dearly. And from my own point of view, I've got a class predominantly boys that they've really engaged in the activities and definitely getting the message through loud and clear.
Ain't you asked for a mention 1,000 miles away, but you still pay me attention.
And it is important, you know, and that's what I try to emphasise to these youngsters here. You know, if you just look around, they're from all different ethnic communities, etc. You know, we've got people from all over here. And likewise, the football club's exactly the same. And Newcastle United, and the stress to the youngsters here, we wouldn't have a football team here if we didn't have people from other races. And I made the point there, and just the last game we played, actually, well, the last one, the one prior to that, we only had one English player on that football pitch.